buyers come in and you drift. But then what happens is the halving changes the fair value.
Yeah.
The halving cuts the block rewards, right? So the block rewards get cut in half. So if the price stayed the same, half of the miners would go bust.
Yep.
Right? Okay. So that doesn't happen. So what happens is the price adjusts, and this is the mind-blowing part of the code, right? Satoshi created this amazing built-in mechanism for price to move. And the reason that's important is movement of price attracts participants.
Yeah.
And so what we've seen is the fair value doubles. Now, we started to talk about the fact that maybe, so that means the fair value would go to 100. So let's think about that, 6 figures. And so it's then in that crypto fall, right, which is where you start to go toward that new fair value. And people are like, wait a second, this price is moving so fast. And then the speculators come in and the gamblers come in, and then we shoot right through. And then you got to have winter again, because then you get above fair value. So you go back to the last cycle, and people, it's so fun. We'll get to the ETFs in a second. So if you go back to the last cycle, we were at 10K, right? Fair value was, right? Fair value was closer to 30K. We got all the way down to 10K. And suddenly, GBTC started taking in new money. They brought in $10 billion, which is not a lot of fiat, but I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's not that much relative to the size of Bitcoin. The price went from 10 to 60. Like from Thanksgiving till January, went from 10 to 60. And Michael Saylor famously started buying. And then Elon did his little, well, I don't know. I don't think we're going to like it anymore. And we went from 60 down to 30. So we went from 2 times fair value all the way back to fair value. And then the summer of 21, people are like, I like it again. Forget Elon, and we rallied all the way to 69, November of 21. So at that point, we were 2.3-ish times fair value because the leverage was back and everybody was partying. Well, then they released the Bitcoin futures ETF. The problem with futures is futures allow naked short selling. So the big institutions could pummel the price. It's exactly what happened. Crypto winter starts. Okay, we don't want to talk about that. So now here we are again. So now the ETFs. We talked about, we thought they'd get approved. Now I had a day, I thought it was going to happen on Elvis's birthday, January 8th. It happened on the 11th. I was off by 3 days. Not bad, not bad. But I also really believed, and I was wrong, and I'm fine with being wrong. I believe they were only going to let BlackRock. I really thought they were going to, just say all the money's going to BlackRock. Now, most of the money is going to BlackRock, but they did let the other 8 get approved, and they let GBTC convert, which I wasn't sure they were going to do that either, because Gary doesn't like, the DCG guys very much.
Gary's licking his sores for how many L's he's taken in the past, 3 to 6 months.
Crypto change, that's exactly right. I mean, he got beat up. I mean, he got smacked down and he had no choice. Now, on the ETH, he has a choice. He's probably going to delay that for a while. But on Bitcoin, he had to give in, and he did. So the Bitcoin ETFs, and remember, we went to 47 right before the ETFs.
The ETFs got approved,
Yep.
Right before they got approved, like on the 10th, we were at 47. And everybody's like, that's front running, buy the rumor, sell the news.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And
I had tons of people asking me, should I be buying? Should I be buying? I'm like, I don't know. Give it a little bit. Let's see what happens. And some of them actually did buy it. Like, I think when it came down to like 42, 41, but I think some were waiting for that like 30,000 K sweep. And that just didn't happen.
What happened is there was front running, right? And there's this guy, it's like, I can never remember the name of his handle, but he's a crypto guy, and it's like something 15 capital, like CP 15 capital or whatever. And he tracks these 100 big wallets that were new, and they're just buying. Now, I don't know for certain. I don't have inside information, but I believe some of those are owned by BlackRock affiliates or friends. Yeah. And they were accumulating so that they could sell, because BlackRock knew they had at least 2 billion of orders before approval. Turns out they probably had more than that, and they got 10 billion now. But I think they were accumulating so they could sell into that, because it's hard to find Bitcoin right now. There's just supply and demand problem.
Croc and a lot of exchanges.
Yeah, exactly. So what happened is it was 47, and then like clockwork, down it goes right after the approval.